welcome back. I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving a 1969 Ferrari 365 GT 2+2. This front-engine flagship Grand Tourer is powered by a Colombo 4.4-liter single overhead cam V12, naturally aspirated, of course, powering the rear wheels through a 5-speed manual gearbox. This is the first Ferrari 2+2 to introduce independent rear suspension, and it has power steering 4-wheel discs, and it's genuinely very comfortable. To me, this is what I think of when I think of like executive Ferraris. A lot of people think of mid-engine V8 Ferraris as being the cornerstone of the brand, but for me, I always appreciated the appeal of a large, this is almost 5 meters long, large front-engine V12 touring car. I think this is so stately and elegant, and I think this is particularly what Enzo enjoyed driving. I don't think he was out there tooling around in the sports cars so much. I think at some point he really just enjoyed driving the big boats. But despite its size, it's still a Ferrari. It still handles really well. It still has incredibly tactile controls. And it sounds incredible. In terms of style, I don't know that this goes down in history as one of the most beautiful Ferraris, but I do think it's elegant, and you can see a lot from other cars, especially this front end. This front end reminds me a lot, almost of a Dino, really. And then down here, we've got these 15-inch wire wheels on knockoffs, wrapped in two 15-section Michelins all around. But inside, you could tell this would be a fast, comfortable cruiser because, first of all, the leather in here is the perfect color. This looks like a baseball mitt. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and there's room for people, actual people in the rear. Maybe not the most legroom, but those rear seats look awfully comfy. And even the doors are just lined with this gorgeous leather. But my only gripe, and it's a very mild gripe with this era of Ferrari, is the dashboards. I think, yes, this is lovely wood, but it just doesn't look quite as elegant and stunning as what we would have seen in the, let's say, 250s or 275s. And around back, this is a very distinct rear end for the 365 with the 3 lights on each side. But make no mistake, you still get the beautiful quad-tipped Enza exhaust coming out the back to let you know, and it always goes a little further than it seemingly needs to. I always think these chrome tips are just perfect. This is one of my favorite features of Ferraris of this era. But ultimately, it's very functional because look at the size of this trunk. You've got plenty of space for luggage. This is designed to go across the continent, and you've even got a full-size spare, which looks a little too original to use. Honestly, that looks old. I don't think we want to play with that one, but you could if you had to. And then up front, probably gonna burn our fingerprints off getting in here. Let me show you the star of the show and the reason why you buy a 365. Oof, there we go. Up here, we'll put this little prop here, is our 4.4-liter Colombo V12. It's a 60-degree angle with single overhead cams on each side. And when you're looking at these cars, you want to check that the stamps on the block match that. The 245 motor, 245 motor. So people just go through and make sure everything's kosher and that things are original. But even if not, even if this wasn't original, it's still going to drive like a V12 front-engine Ferrari. And I think there's such a varied amount of price ranges you could go for because this one, it's in really good shape. It's a nice car, but this is not a concourse winner, I don't believe. There's some little nitpicky things about it. Whereas if you were to buy one that was just completely perfect, I mean, you'd spend outrageous money. Not to say that this is not expensive, it is. I'm sure we're getting around that $200,000 territory with this, but it's worth every penny when you get triple carbs on a Ferrari V12. I also always love the dual oil filter setup on these cars. They're just front and center, right in your face. So let's close it up, start it up, and take it for a ride. I love the way these kind of buckle into place. Listen to this. Oof, that's good. Listen to this. Very light touch. That's great. One of the great joys in life is a V12 starter. They sound fantastic. So let's put our Ferrari key in over here. That fuel pump go for a second. Got a good neutral. When it's cold, this thing actually starts immediately. I've been running it a little bit because I've been doing some photos and stuff and moving it around, so the hot start takes a little extra, but I'm actually glad it did because I wanted you to hear that starter sound. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Over here, we've got a 180 mile an hour speedometer. We've got oil temp, water temp, oil pressure, and an 8,000 RPM tach. We'll not be doing that today. It does not rev that high. Fuel gauge, ready? Watch this. There it is. Works. Just gotta tap it a little bit. I like that. And clock and amps. Very nice. A very free revving V12, and the revs drop super fast. So we're gonna do our best to keep up with it today. Our handbrake is down here. Normal shift pattern, no dog leg or gates. And our seating position is relatively fixed. I mean, we can move the seat forward and aft and of course the rest, but no telescoping or tilt on the wheel. Takes a little time to get this oil temp up, so we'll be nice to it while it warms up properly. Has a radio, but I don't think I'd ever turn it on because the sound is addicting, and it's perfect at like every RPM. It never sounds bad. It always sounds smooth. This really does feel like a race engine though, and that's the thing that I love most about these cars is that you're getting a comfortable Grand Touring machine that you can drive, daily drive if you really wanted to, and you can take it on long trips. But under the hood, what's powering it is straight up race car, and you notice it immediately. Everything links up perfectly too. It's so easy to drive, and that's how you can tell that it's designed to go fast. Because when a car syncs up the clutch, the throttle, the shifter, it means that it was designed for someone to get in and focus on the art of driving and not have to figure out the car. I don't want to babysit this engine, I just want to thrash it. controls are weighted perfectly. The steering is power assisted, but it's not particularly light. You still have to put some effort into it, but it's the right amount of effort. The clutch is actually probably the heaviest thing on the car. So when you go for that clutch, you're pretty aware of it, but it's tactile and you can tell exactly where it's going to catch. And then for the downshift, I can give a little downshift blip with the throttle, which is also weighted properly. And that's why this car flows so well and why it's such a joy to drive, because nothing feels out of place. And the suspension is sporty, but pretty luxurious. Look, we're gonna go over some railroad tracks with some bumps. I feel them, but it's not shattering the cabin to bits. That's real good. On the highway, 5th gear, 60 miles an hour, 2,500 RPM. I mean, this will cruise all day at highway speeds happily, and it's really comfortable. It's easy to place on the road. Suspension's compliant, but not sloppy. That's what you want, that little bit of juicy body roll to help you know what's happening to the car before it slips away on you. But overall, I mean, this has been just a real joy to drive. Sorry I'm not like out here just thrashing it, but it doesn't really call for it. It has a lot of mid-range grunt, and I kind of wanted to experience the car as an enthusiastic daily driver. I mean, the 365 GT2 Plus 2 is maybe not my favorite looking Ferrari, but it is gorgeous, and it has the chops, the sound, the essence, the smells. Oh my goodness, it turns heads. People don't necessarily even know what it is. But it adds an element of driving that's just pure happiness and joy, whether you're going fast or slow, because that noise is always there. That engine sound is never muted. there is always going to be a presence of this powertrain, and that is, to me, what makes this car so special. Not to mention the fact that it does handle quite well. But operating this V12 with my right foot is really the joy of it all, and hitting those rev matches and cracking open the triple carbs, oh, it's just the best. So I am gonna go back to Bond Group begrudgingly to give this back. I know it's kind of quiet throughout the video just because I wanted to hear it and I wanted you to hear it. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, the visibility, oh my goodness, it's perfect. Sometimes I'm a little clumsy on that one too. The revs drop so quickly, so you gotta catch things really fast. Everything's happening, but then the gearbox doesn't necessarily want to be rushed. I think it's the kind of gearbox that's okay to rush like at redline, but it's not particularly thrilled to be thrashed in the mid-range.